The 2013 South African Quadrangular Tournament is proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Made here in Mpumalanga. Welcome to the Mbombela Stadium, where for the first time ever there is a test match in Nelspruit, and let alone a double header. So there's plenty of support for both the Italians and the Samoans, but all the support, of course, for the Springboks, who will play later. The head-to-head for these two teams is that they played 4 times, and Samoa have won 3 of them. So the Italians are a little bit skeptical about this game and not showing an awful lot of confidence as they stayed in the same hotel that we were staying in. So it is a big game here for not only the players but the spectators alike to come to this magnificent stadium and witness test match rugby for the first time. Let's have a look at the Samoan team. 2 changes in the Samoan team from last week. Talafo comes in at loose head with 40 caps. Johnson, the most experienced Samoan. Cardiff Blues, Locke Paolo will have played club rugby against most of the Italians in the Pro 12 Celtic League. Dunedin born Leo plays for Perpignan. Hurricanes, London Irish and Newcastle Saints are the club represented by this loose trio. Collectively, the pack have 41 caps, far less than Italy. 9 and 10 are relatively inexperienced internationals, but both can draw on Super Rugby experience. No change in the centres. Paul Williams, the captain, now plays for French Glamour Club Stade Francais, and Liotta for Sale Sharks. Undoubtedly the strike force for Manu. Tuilagi, 17 tries in 27 tests. Leuo is a real factor. Vaulu comes in place of So'oalia as the late replacement in the Samoan side. So'oalia has an injured ankle, so the Italians have made 7 changes from last week. Castrogiovanni returns for his 97th cap, and there's no lack of experience in this Italian pack, as borne out by the fact that the 2 locks have 115 caps between them. Bortolami closing in on his century with his 96th test. Mauro Bergamasco is called up after a year in the wilderness. Zani will play his 51st consecutive test, and Parisi captains Italy for the 50th time. Halfback Okira comes in to play his 35th test. Gori, one of the 8 Italian players to retain their place from last week. A change at centre too, but again no lack of experience, with Gonzalo Canali winning his 83rd cap. Yanani gets a start from the bench From last week, the Wings will have to stand up defensively against 2 massive opponents. Masi plays in London for Wasps. So it is a great occasion here. You can see some people with Italian jerseys on field. With me this afternoon will be Robbie Kempson. Right now, next to me is Joel Stransky.
Thanks very much, Blades, and good to see the Samoans coming out wearing their more traditional shirts. Might make the numbers a little bit more recognizable today, and as we are told, Italy will be wearing white. Just looking at some of those changes, obviously the 2 changes for Samoa, 1 forced at the back, a last-minute change. It is Brando Vaulua who comes in, and a last minute like that can be quite disruptive, and in the front row, Talafo in as well. It makes no difference to the overall weight and size and ability of that Samoan front row. Paul Williams will lead the team, and they're wearing black armbands. As we understand, the video analyst's father has sadly passed away, and our condolences do go back to the family. For Italy, a number of changes too, and just looking through some of those, what is concerning, every single combination there's a change. Castrogiovanni in the front row, Bartolome in the second row. There's changes in the loose forwards, there's a change at 10, there's a change in the midfield, and that Italian team will have their hands cut out to maintain and look after that fella there. Alessandro Tuilagi, massive, 117 kilograms of raw power. He's got pace to burn. He scored a couple of tries last week, and only in the latter stages of the game did he really come into the game carrying the ball more in the midfield and in open play rather than just hugging his own wing. Well, I touched on the changes in this team. The one really positive change is Martin Castrogiovanni, who certainly Robbie Kempson will know all about playing front row against the Italians.
No, that he certainly will. He is mammoth for the side as they come out to the parquet by Sergio Perez. It must be said, the pitch itself very fast. It's sandbased, been reliably told by the groundsman. It will hold up to the likes of Giovanni and Census Johnson in the front row for Samoa. I must tell you, Joel and Blades, a very intensive warm-up from this Italian side. Most of it was surrounded by the defensive effort, so they're obviously looking to put a lot of impact as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we expect, isn't it? We expect to see them carry the Samoans carrying the ball, and we expect to see the Italians play more European style.
The Samoan anthem by Zwei Barlow. The Italian anthem will be sung by Louis Luke. So great job done there by Zwei Barlow and Louis Luke. And the subs, Joel.
Just looking through that, obviously the number of changes in both teams, and that results in a number of changes on the bench. Look out in the Italian lineup for Tobias Puertas, born in Worcester, raised at Lampo, put on Lampo High School, and obviously with the South African touch there. And then just quickly looking through that Samoan team, Selola Mapasua will certainly be looking to get on and make a big impact later in the game. James Johnson, when he does come on, just when the Italians think that front row is going to get a bit lighter, all 140 kilograms of him will come on to lean and make a nuisance of himself against the strong scrummaging Italian team.
So the Samoans with the Sivatau. So the challenge laid down to the Italians. Giovanni will have been very used to that in terms of facing various teams in World Cups, etc. There he is, Martin Giovanni.
Didn't start last week, which I thought was quite interesting, quite possibly just a little bit of a rest after his long season of the Leicester Tigers. But he's out there in the starting lineup today, and he just enhances that already strong Italian scrummaging ability.
So Craig Hubert will be the referee, John Lacey from Ireland, and Tian Jonke is assistant. The TMOs, Kheri Kutsia, and Italy will be playing in all white and kicking off via Luciano O'Kera. The smallish fellow, the scrum halves, they'll have to stand up to it physically. Great chase up there by Yanone. And so Samoa have to play at close quarters, 10 meters out. PC. So Teresa leaving it for Masi. Teresa up and in support, well worked out there by Gori.
Flags up.
So it's John Lacey who has the flag up on the main grandstand side of the field, right in front of Rob Kempson.
Yeah, some big hits going in right from the start of this game from the Samoans. Expect nothing less from him, managing to get the turnover.
Well, it looked like it was perilously close to being over the 15-meter line there by Paolo, but a good drive back here by Italy as Gori gets it away. Now the lock forwards and the tight forwards have to get in there very quickly. Giovanni. Up to Zani, who I reckon was about the most industrious forward against the Springboks last week. And holding on says Craig Hubert.
7 arriving player holding on.
CPC just having a word with his forwards there. Massive 803 caps before this game to the Italians.
So it was a good tackle initially from Jack Lamb, and then over the top he went after having cleared the daylight, winning the penalty. Pretty decent start. The kick's a decent one too. First attacking ball for Samoa.
Well, the ball taking some time to come out, but eventually on the Samoan side going in hard there was Tuifua to try and cover the ball. Sua just directing his forwards, but it comes to Tuifua. Used to close contact, having played for the Newcastle Falcons. And now it's with Ave. Sua, PC, Liotta, Williams. Just over the advantage line, and one of the Italian centres, it looks like Garcia's gone down. And a good field position kick for Samoa.
It was also quite a mature little bit of attack play from Samoa. They earned the right to go wide. They didn't just go wide earlier. It's Gonzalo Garcia who's down and grimacing there, getting a bit of attention to his abdomen. Might be a rib injury. But a mature little bit of a attack from Samoa. They didn't just go wide early. they earned the right and they've won the ball back again.
Ove's done good job, the Samoan hooker, Sua. Again, keeping it close quarters. This is where they physically very robust, and it's part of their game, and the penalty again for holding on.
Yeah, great play from Geraldini. He was very quick to get hands on the ball, make the steal and win the penalty. Round the corner for Samoa and Tuifua, and that man there was very quick to get hands on ball.
Well, they're still attending to Garcia, but he's up and running, which is good. And so Parise, just the number 8 there, 50th captaincy today for the number 8, up to his 97th test match along with Castrogiovanni.
It's a great record, and you know, sometimes stats just don't tell the whole story and the whole picture. As we see the big fella rumbling it around the corner, Geraldini was very quick to get in a really strong body position. He got low, he kept his own body weight off the floor, got his hands on the ball. Certainly had the rights to the penalty. We'll come back to Sergio Parise.
Well, ball stolen at the line out by the Samoans, and this is where Italy will really want to maintain the possession. They did it well in the second half against South Africa, but they've lost that line out. PC, that's needs some chasing. It comes from Williams. Marcy had to commit. Now the loose ball is well played there by Gori.
And again, mature option from Samoa. It's a Samoan team that I think will have grown a lot last week, bringing that growth in here. They don't have the opportunity to play too many test matches. Totally, they've got 218 against, in fact, a little bit less with Soialo out the test, as opposed to the 803 from the Italian team, with Massi having 78 of those jumping and not able to control that. The kicking game quite important here. It's probably a little bit more breezy down there than we initially thought, Robbie.
It is a slightly more breezy than you might expect, but nothing wrong with the ground underfoot for these heavy front rows. You see some comfortably the weight advantage, much of that coming from Census Johnson, 138 kilograms.
Well, I did the front row analysis. The Samoans are 44 kilograms heavier than their opponents in the front row.
So early engagement by the Samoans. Not the greatest way to start scrumming, Rob.
Not at all. They've got that weight advantage. No need to jump the gun just beforehand. So they're now straight to a penalty.
But Robbie, we also know that weight doesn't necessarily equate to power and strength in the scrum, does it?
No, that it doesn't. We saw that last week. I mean, Castrogiovanni, when he came on, really changed that game around for Italy against the Springboks, in particular because of his scrumming prowess.
Well, interesting that the Italians have decided to take a scrum from that free kick.
Touch. Set. Put it in.
And look at that. That's a great scrum by Italy. Was won them the penalty.
Angle 3 blue.
Well, that's against the big fella, Census Johnson. Scrummaging in on the angle is what Craig Joubert has called. There was a bit of talk before the game too that Craig Joubert is quite strict and accurate around the scrums, and that he would ping the Samoan team if they don't scrum straight. Well, evidence already.
No, I think the word you use there, accurate, is more to the point. He really does put a lot of effort into learning of the scrum, the different angles. You see as the power comes through here from Italy, there's no doubt Census Johnson is already at the angle. He's now perpendicular to the reset, so 100% spot on with the penalty.
Not an awful lot of ground gained by that kick. Is there a bit of a breeze factor down on the field?
It's kind of swirls in the middle, but certainly with Samoa on the left-hand side of the park, it does tend to hold the ball up somewhat.
This is better ball for Italy. That would look a little bit forward from Parise. Good continuity there from Gori.
Turnover is good.
The Samoans turnover is good, says Craig Joubert. Now the chase will come from Tuilagi, which should be an easy field, and is for Yanone. Oh, that's one of those big hits that they've been waiting for. Tuifua that time. Gori, Okira. Ooh, not a bad little jab, but Williams able to get back and secure. Ooh, now he gets it to Tuifua. Getting through a lot of work is the Samoan number 8, Nave.
Great play.
PC, lovely ball away there for Jack Lamb. Nice little touch on the inside. Was waiting for a ball carrier in typical New Zealand fashion.
Ball is out. Play on.
Nice little bit of continuity again there by Sua. Ave. Also involved the locks, Paolo and Leo. Now PC again. Oh, that was not good play by Samoa. That built it up and well gathered there by Canale for the Italians, the Algerie, the Blues.
Well, I thought Craig Joubert had missed the forward pass, but he didn't. Played advantage, good advantage it was. Nothing came of it. Forward pass was the call. Good build-up though, and some brilliant handling skills from the front row and the big fellas as they managed to get the ball away from the contact zone. That's the forward ball. And there comes the, the pass of nothing. Quickly snatched up by Canale with all his experience. 83rd cap today, sure. So just looking at the position there, Samoa having the advantage at the moment. Slight territorial advantage, bigger possession stake, but nothing to show just yet. One thing they have done with their little kicking game with that grubber in behind with a couple of up and unders, they've chased the Italians back and made Italy play from deeper than they would probably have liked to.
Touch. Set.
Again, the Italian scrum is pretty steady, pretty set just. And, well, second scrum, second penalty, Rob Kempson.
Hanging on the arm.
And this time he's got it for hanging on the arm, and Craig Joubert has been spot on with both these calls so far.
Yeah, it's just we gave it up the first time away, but we just needed a bit consistent. They're coming very early now. So. Okay, look, I beg to differ with you on that particular score, but I understand your question. We've got a real issue with the tight head. Can you get the message to me? Yeah, thanks.
I just love the way Craig Joubert deals with the players, and diplomatical in one sense, saying I understand the question, I beg to differ, and just make sure the tight head gets the message. So no doubt Census Johnson should have the message by now. 2 penalties against him, Rob.
Yeah, there you can see binding on the arm. He hasn't a warning as of yet, and the binding on the arm is immediately penalty, and going to ground to boot as well. Very easy penalty to give for Craig Joubert.
Oh, Daniel Leo, the lock forward, who was the fellow who was just getting the explanation from Craig Joubert. Now, important, and they do it well through Bartolome.
Okay, JL? Yeah, thanks.
Marshy was working hard. That's not a bad tap forward. Now the physical continuity by Garcia. Castrigiovanni. Bergamasco goes in hard. Need to keep this ball alive to Italy, and they drive in very well indeed with the collective forward drive. Away for by Gori. This is looking good. Parise, Gori's backed up beautifully, as long with Okira.
Turnover is good.
And turnover is good, so Samoa come away from a dangerous situation. PC, Leota, Williams, all a little bit static, no real flow in that play there. Now a chance here for Okira to sum up the Samoan defences.
Well
lifted out on the full.
Lapati Leua was in the perfect position there, realised he was going to go out on the full and left it. Good leave. The idea was pretty decent. The kick not executed as well as it could have been. What does amaze me in terms of the way the Samoans play is they've got this absolute ball-carrying machine in Tuolangi. And they don't get him in the game early enough, don't use him as a ball carrier up the middle, don't use him as a dummy runner at times. They really do need to get him more involved.
Ave with the throw, and it's a bad one, a goal grabbed by Giraldini. A little bit slow, Giraldini, perilously close to holding on too long. But they've made about 15-20 meters. Turnover is good. Sua! Oh, that looked forward, and Craig Joubert picked it up immediately.
Oh, it's the small little margins in this game, isn't it? Turnover ball, the best of ball in the world to tack with. the opposite defense is in attack mode. They're quite deep. So Brunel, the Italian coach, will be probably, I suppose, relatively happy as we see that forward pass. They just could not get back in time to make it a good backward pass from the little scrum off Sua. Handling errors mounting already. Neither team will be happy with 7 errors in 13 or 14 minutes. Turnovers conceded, Italy 4. And that's testament to two things: not getting to the breakdown quick enough and cleaning out well enough. And one, the ability of the Samoans to get there quicker and turn it over.
Keep a long bind and straight.
Well, Census Johnson having a discussion there with Craig Jabir about the fact that the loose head, Alberto Dinamachi, is taking him in on the angle, not necessarily him coming in.
Set!
He's gone again.
Use it!
In this particular scrum, he actually might have a point there, Joel. He's getting a bit of pressure coming through in the loose head on that occasion. He did buckled in to the side of the scrum as we see it here. It's got the proper bind this time, and as the pressure starts coming through, you watch the loose head here, as he changes his hips and angles round about now, and then it collapses inwards.
He does, you did right. Well, they're both pointing in at an awkward angle.
You need to play your parts as well. Long bind and elbow up.
Demarchi and Giraldini both play for the same club, Benetton Treviso, as do 6 of their players and 5 players from Zabre Rugby, one might say. Well, the Zebras, as they call them. They were stone last in the top 12 Celtic League.
And 6 more players from Benetton on the bench for the Italian.
Yeah, so they're 12 in all. That's
Great
a lovely
pass.
touch by Peruse for Gori. Bergamasco has to just feed. No, he decides to go on his own. Bartolome. Pick up by Demarchi.
Well, I think it's quite good play from the Azzurri, to be fair. It's picking up. They may not have made too much ground. They may have gone a bit sideways. But the one thing that you can expect from the Samoan team is that they don't like defending. They like to have the ball in hand. They want to be playing attacking rugby. They want to be carrying it up. They don't want to have to make thousands of tackles around the fringes. And I think if you play against them, you've got to force them to make the tackles, keep the ball away from them, play around the fringes, make life uncomfortable, and eventually they'll start slipping tackles. That's just an absolutely brilliant ball from Sergio Peruse, running one way, passing the other. We started talking about him earlier, 50th test as captain, and that only tells half the story. He is captain courageous, leads by physical example, leads by mental example, and certainly is the driving force behind the success of, or the recent success of, this Italian team. Not rolling away clearly the penalty. First chance for points on the board.
Luciano Chiera, who has 99 points to his name in Test rugby. And that is a disappointing start to his kicking afternoon. These days, in that position, at international level, you really expect him to get 19 out of 20.
And the conditions are pretty perfect. The field is firm underfoot, no wind to speak of. It was just a little bit of a pull.
Push on one side. Come.
Well, that's a dreadful little bit of play by the Italians. They've recovered well. Mrs. Massi has done a tremendous job, the full-back. Now it's carried on by Peruse after Gori getting involved in the move. This is good. Giovanni, a nice little bit of continuity by the forwards, and then grabbed by PC. And then physical stuff from Jack Lamb. Sua, PC. Well, they'll have to keep it a little bit tight and Leo decided, in fact it was Paolo who took it forward, offside by Italy.
Once again, some real good handling skills on display. This time the Italians. A couple of the big fellas linking well. That was the man ultimately who was found to be in an offside position, Sergio Parisi. A little bit of relief for Samoa. They've been under the cosh a little bit, asked to make quite a few more tackles in the last few minutes. Looking to move that ball quickly, but to be fair to the Italian defence, they almost defending like Brian Abana. They're coming up quickly on the outside and they're not allowing the ball to get out to Ilangi, the danger man.
2 by 2.
So they go to Leo. Good ball here for Liotta to play off, but the Italians closing down very quickly. Sua, and into play with his lock forwards. To Ilangi. To Ifua. You need a half back here. Leo is there. This is good continuity. Now the burst away is terrific. That's absolutely perfect by Tualafo.
Foot, play on foot.
Well, it's been grabbed on the ground there by Bartolome, who's done a good job defensively for Italy. Gori with the boots away, extending to Ilangi. Now what will happen? Here we go for the big bang. Boom! Italians did well to stand up to it. PC can get it away. No, he can't. He's brought a beautiful break. Wonderful running by Lewa. He ran off the ball brilliantly. Williams, the captain, will score for Samoa.
Well, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Ball in hand, Samoa, explosive. It's Paul Williams who's rounded it off and gone in under the poles.
Thanks, Kelly. Good one.
And one of the Samoans is down as well. But look at this for a great step, right up through the middle. No one ready to offload to first time round. This time there was. It was the steaming winger, Leua, coming on the outside. The little show from Williams. But Samoa, ball in hand with a little bit of space. Just plain and simple, dangerous. Started at the back, the kick over to Tuilangi's side. He didn't have too much to do, carried it up, but that was the start of the attack play. The start was to Tuilangi. The finish was Paul Williams.
Paul Williams with the conversion attempt. PC may have taken it, but he's down. But Williams, no problem in adding the extra 2.
I'd like to see much more of this from Samoa. Tuilangi taking up the middle. Now have a look at this. Just running off the shoulder. Perfectly weighted pass. And Paul Williams, the captain, does the rest. Samoa on the board.
Okura, straight down and well lofted. That's the reason why they should have done it. In fact, Zani should have done a bit better there. Baulu, we only got a very late call up into the fullback position in place of Soialo. I say, Talafo working at halfback. PC again seems to have recovered. It was his break that led to the try. Who picked up by Ave. Now Liotta. Lamb. 3 foot. Just had to hold on a little bit there. In fact, it was taken to ground quite quickly. Sua. Now Ave.
Roll away, what? Roll away.
But clear from Craig Ebert.
Yeah, okay.
Some good intent now from Samoa, wanting to move the ball quickly, using the width of the field, realizing that They might have the advantage over Italy if they spread it a little bit.
Bartolome.
There was a feeling before the game, and we heard from guys pretty close to the Italian camp that they were a little bit wary of the power and strength game of the Samoans, the physicality. And at the moment, the Italians have stood up pretty well, but showing signs of a little bit of wear and tear down on the touchline there.
That they are. Some Clarea on the jersey as well. He's been through the wars at the moment as Geraldini. Just the physical element of this game, the Samoans starting to step that up, and they're doing that by, as you said, Joel, carrying the ball in hand. The kicking game definitely doesn't suit their style.
If you're part of the tackle.
Not part of their style, but certainly mature when they are kicking.
Sua, PC. It should be easy meat, and is for Marcy. Just holding off players is Venditti, who's hardly had a touch on the ball all afternoon. Gori, Castro Giovanni, Bartolome, Parise.
Roll away, Blue! Player on the ground, roll away.
So one rather feels that Italy needed that penalty. They were just going nowhere really, and sort of sinking to ground almost.
Well, there's just no doubt that they don't have the big powerful ball runners, the great steppers that the Samoans have. They don't have those game breakers in this Italian squad, but what they do have is a much more structured game of rugby, and what they need to do is fall back on that structure. There is a little blood substitution coming now for Italy. Minichi will come on for Geraldini, who's just going to have some running repairs done to that mouth of his. But what Italy now need to do is they need to go back to that structured game. They need to go through the phases, be patient, look after the ball, pick around the fringes, make a lot of tackles and get tired of making tackles.
Good line out work. Bergamasco working it out to Corey. Now with Akira. This is Marcy. It's looking good here for Venditti. Samoa having to cover very quickly, and now they're all offside. Down midfield there. Craig Hubert may get the call. He hasn't put his arm out yet. Akira. No quick pass there from Canale. Gore again. Akira, Bergamasco. Change of direction. Marcy. Looked promising from the fullback. Has the Italian number 15. Good hands again. Away for Garcia.
Well, this is much better from Italy. And I'll tell you, Andrea Marcy, he's just putting up his hand as a really experienced fullback. Not the biggest fella in the world, but he carried it up at pace, got the Italian team going forward, and has won the penalty. And there's a little bit of a warning there too for the big Samoan number 5, Daniel Leo. Shot at goal it'll be. The Italians will have to chip away at this lead. There's the big carry up. The tackle, and not rolling away is Leo. No effort to roll away. Craig Joubert nearly blew his whistle and realised the ball had popped out, and the Italians continued, but to no avail.
Akira, who's one of those zebras based in Parma in the north of Italy, and that's much better, and Italy on the board.
While that tick was being taken, what a field the Italians coming to the side of the field and collect some of that water. So really putting the effort in. They are playing very much side to side, so trying to utilise the space and making sure the high impact hits don't come in from those Samoans.
I don't think the fact that they're playing side to side is a problem for them right now, Robbie. I think they've got to just keep the ball in hand, be patient, be willing to go laterally a little bit, just to ensure the Samoans make a lot of tackles and stop tiring in this afternoon heat.
Well, they would have got encouragement from that penalty, and remember they do play on their temperaments very often. Marcy, not the greatest kick in the world, but it's gone into open ground quite nicely. Tuifua, PC. Now the first real chance for Vaulu, who's done well. Tuilangi goes in to clear out. What a winger to have to clear out. Now it's with Taulafu, the loose head prop. Liata.
Run away, what?
Good bit of defensive work there by Demachi, but then from an offside position, getting involved in the play. Worked out by Williams. PC sees the referee, has his arm out and has a pot.
Sergio.
At goal.
Sergio.
I think it was Alberto Demarchi who was a little bit in an offside position, stood up and started making the tackle, tried to withdraw himself, but too late.
So it looks like Paul Williams has taken on the keys with So'oyalo with the late ankle injury.
Guys.
Look at this. 100 miles offside. The only reason Tamaki may well have been onside at some point is if it weren't a ruck and just a tackle, but it was a ruck. And
Stephen Beetham.
Yeah, rubbing his hands together. He'll be pretty happy. 30 minutes in, his team lead. They've scored a very, very good try.
Well, it's warm here in Nelspruit. I can tell you the sun's shining on our backs. No stranger to place kicking, and that's a pretty good looking strike. Super kick by the skipper.
It's bordering on sitting.
That's a great strike. So all the points so far to the captain, Paul Williams. Look at this for not just a great slow-mo, but a great picture in motion of a good kicking technique. Head down all the way through. The follow-through was good. The result was great.
Another good kick-off by Okira.
Play on.
Well snatched by the Ajuri. Gori, Akira. Getting it out wide. And well covered there by Vaula. And Sua had to just dive onto that ball. The scrum half just secures. Got up on his feet well. No chance here for PC.
Wait.
And work for Parise.
It's a big kick, isn't it? There must be a bit of wind assistance there. That kick's gone all of 65, 70 meters.
Marcy getting it to Parise. Back to Marcy. Oof. Thundering into Lau. This is good though. Well, Marcy decided to go in on his own. Got a couple of players to his left-hand side. He's a little fella, the fly half he gets now.
3 blue, hands beyond the ball, not supporting your body weight.
Sergio Parise has just gone down with a bump in the face somewhere.
Yeah, look, I get that, but it's just there are a number of them. Specifically, I have a big concern with 5. He's got cleaned out here probably fortuitously for him. So if the trend continues, the next one goes to the bin.
Well, it's a clear warning there for Samoa, and in particular for Daniel Leo.
Time on.
Who was a bit fortunate, according to Joe Chabert, to be cleaned out there. Had he not been, and they would have been in trouble already.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to have a shot at goal. Long way out. I'm just not sure about the distance here and the wind. The last Samoan kick seemed to travel an age coming from that side. This surely must be into the breeze.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Akira who's going to kick. In fact, it is that Garcia?
It is Gonzalo Garcia who's going to have a shot.
In warm-up, gents, I saw him slotting in for that very same position with space to spare. So he's obviously the man with the big boot in him.
It's winter.
So bear in mind for our international viewers and for some of our local viewers, the altitude here is much less than it is in Johannesburg or Pretoria, and more so closer to sea level, so no huge altitude advantage.
Well, it's a pretty good looking strike, but just under the crossbar. Direction was good.
Well, I'm not sure what the point of that was. Geraldini used down there. Evidently he's lost one or two of his teeth as well. Oh, it's the back of the head, yeah. Well, he didn't feel it initially because he was very quick to carry on and try and win the ball.
And Joe Manucci, who has won his first cap. Now the chance here for Zani. He's been a little bit quiet, Zani. I thought last week he was good against the Springboks. Now for Garcia. Gori, Castrogiovanni, Marcy. He's been quite industrious, has the fullback. That's lovely interplay. Bergamasco let it go a fraction too early for Akira to draw his man.
Almost very good, almost. But again, game of small margins. That little error in terms of the timing of the run was absolutely everything, and the outside players, in particular Mendytti, found himself in front of the ball and ruled himself out as an option effectively. What is good, Italy have had a bit more of the possession. They've taken over the territorial advantage. They've chased the Samoans back. They trailed by 10 points to 3, but aside from that 21st minute try, they've been right there as 50-50 in the game.
In 15.
Venditti. PC was up to make the early tackle. Good send over Sua. PC. Oh, beautiful ball to Leiua. Leiua has had precious little of it this afternoon, as has Tuilagi. Now the tight head prop census Johnson.
Go 11 white.
Sua. Forward to Fua. The Newcastle Falcons number 8. Sua. Leo. Ave. Lamb hanging very close. Samoans deciding to just play it in that area, making some headway now. Trevoranus hasn't had too many carries today. The blood brother of Leiua. Ave. This is a good build-up by Samoa. They just need to keep their patience now.
I know it's tough.
Well, it's decision time. Paul Williams will have a look at the post. I just saw him have a glance up at the post, and now he's wandering across to where all his hard-working forwards are.
He should not be thinking about a scrum.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he's going to kick a goal. It was a good rumbling attack from the Samoan pack of forwards. Dynamic around the fringes, dynamic through the middle once or twice.
My view was that the guy
They're
didn't
strong,
survive
powerful
the
runners, and they get over the gain line quite easily against a resolute Italian defence, not rolling away. That's the captain, Parisi, laying his body on the line, slowing it down, trying to buy time for his defence.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised that Paul Williams is confident to go for goal. He's kicked an easy conversion and then a good penalty.
Considering some of this morning's global rugby results, Japan beating Wales, France coming unstuck by 30 points to 0 against the All Blacks. Italy could well go down here to another Southern Hemisphere team, as could the Scots.
So Williams head down and misses. Just didn't seem to strike that as well, Charles.
No, a little bit almost toey and off to the right.
Italy ranked 10th in the world, Samoa on number 7. So theoretically, Samoa should be the favourites.
All backward.
Janone did pretty well there. Now Bergamasco, Parise, no, in fact Garcia in midfield there. I've been impressed with him. Marcy's been keen on getting involved. Gori, Akira, Castro Giovanni. Leicester Tigers fans will be pleased to see Castro Giovanni here playing for his country. Not a bad up and under now by Vaula. Chase up by Leua. Well grabbed by Gore. Akira throws into the considerable form of Census Johnson.
Use it!
What about 100k difference there? Gore touched, and so they can play on. Bergamasco right up there. Oh, there's a good chance for the counter here. It was well read by Garcia. Now a chance here for Italy via Canale. It's all on the bounce of the ball. Canale has grabbed it. Can Italy produce the ball? Referee says play on. That means a turnover. PC decides to run it away. Gets it away to Fua. Everything just settling down now a little bit. Suat.
Yes.
PC. Well, I think PC prefers the fly half position, played at centre against the Bulls. And so the first half has gone by pretty quickly. Plenty of action to entertain the crowd. Not an awful lot of scoring, and unfortunately for the Ashuri, no tries at all. So, Joel, quick sum.
Well, difficult game to sum up really so far. Samoa lead on the scoreboard, but pretty even in all departments. Italy, when they structure, they look good. Samoa too at times have rumbled it around the fringes very dynamically, but not accurate enough when the ball in the hands of the backs.
So Paul Williams responsible for all 10 of the Samoan points. Italy on 3. A good second half expected.
Points to 3 at Samoa lead. Just the one try separating the two teams. You'll see from the statistics, everything pretty much even. A lot of the game played in the central part of the field. Not much kicking we've seen so far. Tackles exactly equal. Samoa will be a bit disappointed that they've missed a couple more than they should have. But to run you through what exactly has happened down to Onan Kamani on the field.
Yeah, well, we saw the halftime score there. Samoa has still got the upper hand against Italy, with them joined with 2 former Springbok players. Gentlemen, a good first half, very competitive. What's your take on that first 40, Bob?
I think we were expecting fireworks, maybe a little bit more of the big hits, etc. from Samoa, and I think Italy have stood up quite nicely to that. But the Samoans are retaining the ball a little bit more. I was just a bit irritated with them because they know they've got the physicality and they kept kicking the ball away. You know, Italy, they're not going to tackle you all day in a big physical way, but they're happy to run at you all day. So don't give them the ball. I thought that was a fault from them in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not their style, Samoa. They play a physical, in-your-face, take the game to their opponents. And if they do that more in the second half, I think Italy's going to have their hands full.
Well, it was very good first play there. Good try by Paul Williams. All 10 points to the captain of Samoa.
It was a lovely play. And watch the interlinking here. 3 or 4 players are following up. It's outstanding work from Yoi, who comes in off the right-hand wing. And then for Williams here, Parisa, I think he thought the play had stopped. He actually quite possibly could have made that tackle, but it was a length of the field stuff. And I like the way that they've hung onto the ball there. I just wish they did it more.
Didn't force the pass. They knew they had men on the in and outside, and they finished very well that time.
One of the things that the Italians are good has been scrum time. They've put Samoa under immense pressure, just couldn't really build on it. They got 1 or 2 penalties from scrum time. illegal binding, Quibus.
Yeah, but I mean, they scrummed very well against South Africa last week. You know, Casa Giovanni is back in the team. He makes a massive difference. They do have a solid scrum. Make no mistake about it. Their technique is good. They hit in well, and they scrum as a pack, as a unit, very, very well.
Well, it's really been outstanding play, but just couldn't build on this. Actually started well, got themselves in the right areas. Guerra couldn't convert the 3 points or an offer, missed 2 kicks at post. On the other hand as well, they need to build in the second half, Quibus.
Of course they have to. I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. I think the Italians had their chances as well. A bit of stop-start play. I think they're not sure how to play the Samoans. I get the feeling that then they kick, then they try and run the ball. If they stick to their pattern as well, we could be in for a really good 40 minutes.
Bob, the Samoans got the upper hand against Italy, so I think that we'll carry on that during the next 40 minutes?
Well, I mean, we've watched a couple of rugby games today where teams, unlikely teams, have beaten others. You know, Japan did it very well. Samoa here, I'll be thinking, you know, they're up for a win, and they'll be a tough team to beat. If they can carry on that physical stuff and just hang on to the ball, then Italy have got their work cut out for them.
Quibus, what is it that Italy have to do to really come back and win this game?
Well, they have to start in front. They have to. If Italy keeps their composure, they get good scrum ball, good line-out ball, and they clean well at the rucks, take the physical Samoans away, and give good front foot ball for their backline, they end the game.
Well, it is the Castle Log incoming series. Samoa have won one game already en route to win their second one. On the other hand, Italy competitive last weekend against South Africa. This week a slow start shows some good signs of really coming through here. Got themselves in the right areas, couldn't convert that, but we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll come back for the second half. Remember, and Samoa in the lead by 10 points to 3.
Welcome back to the Mbombela Stadium. Air of expectancy around the ground as the locals start arriving for the Springbok, and their support is really great. Springboks against Scotland could be quite an entertaining game. Meanwhile, we've had a tight game here with the Samoans all 10 points to their captain Paul Williams via a converted try and a penalty, and Okira just the 3 points for Italy. Down on field, Rob Kempson, any changes in conditions, etc.?
Not too much at the moment, Uncle Hugh, but certainly they've done some running repairs on the pitch as the players start wandering out. Just some news on Leonardo Geraldini. He has indeed had his 2 front teeth knocked out. The sad thing for him, it's the second time it's had been done to him, so he won't be returning to the field, unfortunately.
Well, that is unfortunate. My mate Sid Nomus will know all about having his teeth knocked out on a rugby field, a la Fergie McCormack in the second test against the All Blacks back in 1970. In fact, after the game, he had to go and find his teeth on the field. James Johnson in for Census Johnson. So 138 Ks replaced by just over 140 Ks.
Census Johnson had been under a little bit of pressure in the scrums. How will James Johnson fare? Time will tell. Can Italy come back? That's the big question. They're going to need to be a little bit more patient. They're going to have to be a little more dynamic, ball in hand, and force the Samoans to make a few more tackles. Samoans have missed a fair few tackles more than the Italians. 9 they've missed, only 3 missed by the Azuri. Playing in the unfamiliar white strip this afternoon, and what is starting to look ever increasingly like a green stadium.
So the immediate return of the kickoff is pretty easy for Andrea Marci.
How many do you need?
Stephen Beetham just making sure that he keeps his weight up. Now Sua, PC. Now PC, it was Johnny Liotta who took it in close. Williams. Continuity good by the Samoans at the moment. Ave. Sua, PC. The loose forwards getting involved. Now a chance for PC just to dab it through for Leihua to chase. It's all on the bounce, and Leihua has done the job. Brilliant following up. He ran beautifully off the ball for Williams' try, and his coach is delighted with the start to the second half.
Well, they'll be ecstatic. It was a really good build-up. They got the ball quite cheaply, quickly with a clearance from the kickoff. Not a long clearance. Samoa from there were patient in the attack. I thought maybe the ball before this could have gone. In fact, that ball there could well have gone wide. There were numbers. The Italian defense restructured. They were up quickly. It left space in at the back there. And Leihua just had the gas to get in front of his opposite number. Coming across from the other side was Yanone. He could do nothing about it. Snatching the ball. The kick, well, we saw one or two of those in the first half. This time weighted perfectly. The chase perfect. And the result equally good.
Got 2 tries in Super Rugby this year. His first test try and just his second test. The blood brother of Trevor Anus. You might ask, well, they've got different surnames. Leihua went as a kid to New Zealand and took on his uncle's surname. And the first time last week when the 2 brothers played together, it was quite a sentimental time for them, and emotional, one might say, as well.
That's a woeful kick.
Yeah, wide by Paul Williams. Remember, Soialo will use their normal kick up.
Right, Joel, is the weight of the kick straight through the half gap, and the chase just as good as the weight of it, and Leihua gets over. So we've just seen a substitution also coming onto the field, and Alberto Del Bernardo is on.
Di Bernardo, who played fly half last week for Italy. Also, well, there's 7 Benetton Treviso players on the bench to replace in this Italian side. Of course, Benetton, sponsored by the huge clothing company, the colors of Benetton. They've got 6,500 stores worldwide.
Okay, JL, thanks. Use it!
Well, use it. They better not delay too long. Gori.
Let him run.
Chased by Perise. Whoa, the
missed play
should have been taken in there by Leihua.
Turnover good.
Now, chance here for them to bash forward via Manici. Nice work here by the Italian backs. Garcia, low tackle by PC. And well read by the Samoan hooker. Vao comes away with the ball. He put Gori under a lot of pressure. Great work by Ave. And then the little dab over the top by Sua. Work for Parise. Well, he's full of tricks, is the Italian captain. Got it away nicely to his right winger, Venditti. Di Bernardo probing for ground. Easy fielding here for Vaulua, who leaves it to PC in the end.
Well, what about the little ball from Sergio Parise? Just a little backhand flip, casual as you like. Look at this. And absolute pinpoint accuracy as well. The only player he knew it was coming was his teammate. Second time he's done it this afternoon. He's made it look absolutely perfectly normal each time. I can't tell you, it is properly difficult to execute that correctly.
Jacques Brunel, who seems to make regular changes at about 45 minutes in the game, has now brought on a new standoff half. First 5/8 in New Zealand. Taken to ground there by Manici. This is the replacement in action. Di Bernardo. Work here for Leua. Winner pops up nicely now. Producer, beautiful handoff. Now the sprint. Well, it was almost a sprint. Now almost like a foot pass. And that is really good play there by Leua, who got back to make the mark.
Oh, it was a good little run around. I thought the Italian captain may well have put his head down and had a go at getting in at the corner, but I suppose 29 years old, maybe felt the pace just not in those legs anymore.
Marci gets his captain away. Great pick up there from Dimarchi. Here go the Italians. From Marci and then Garcia.
Let's go blue!
Di Bernardo screaming for the ball. So is Castro Giovanni in the centre position. Gori decides to make a meter. And Perise is up, down and out at the moment, their captain.
Holding on.
Oh, and that's so disappointing for Italy.
Now, we said it earlier, that looks like a rib injury for the captain. We said it earlier that the Samoans just managing to make a few steals at the breakdown. And that number climbing as we speak. But on this occasion, the Italians just a little bit slow to get there and clear out.
Yeah, okay, got it, thanks.
Six
Let's go.
balls conceded at the turnover and a couple of penalties to boot. And that's a very good clearance. It's a great clearance. So he's up, he's the captain. He's been impressive this afternoon, Andrea Marci. And that's where the hit came in, the ribcage. Some good interpassing, quick hands, one or two passes maybe a fraction early. This one wasn't, it was perfectly timed and he got the big hit for his sins. Trevor Reynes it was who smashed in.
Familiar with London Irish supporters, Trevor Reynes.
Yeah, back off, Lou.
Not the best structured ball we've ever seen, but it might turn out to be quite effective.
Seen very few in these first 48 minutes of the game in terms of the familiar maul taken on by Vea. He's been prominent, particularly the first part of the second half. Then Jack Lamb involved.
No, three!
Sua, PC, Liotta got it away to Williams. Good layback by the skipper. Good continuity from Trevor Reynes. Now PC.
Onside.
Sua for Lamb. Then Tui Fua. Now Vea standing off. Nice little ball away for Lamb.
22.
Now it's PC in that fly half position, the double around and well read by Garcia. Is that a workmanlike game in centre for the Asheri? Well read by Perise, but
no advantage.
Previous offside infringement.
On the ground when you played it. 3 on the ground playing the ball.
The penalties against Castro Giovanni on the ground when he played it is the call. Decent build-up from Samoa. One of their players is down, and as you can see, with the looks like quite a very big leg.
One of their flankers, Joel.
It's a big leg that's trying to get a bit of attention there. It's Pat Lamb, I think, who made a carry on that far side.
Yes. Just get ready in the meantime.
I'm still absolutely surprised that Tuilangi has not been used in this game a little bit more and a little bit better.
Well,
that is not where the
hardly at all, Joel.
Yeah, that's not where the penalty came. The penalty was a fraction earlier against Castro Giovanni on the floor when he played the ball. So he's up. Is the flanker? It is Jack Lamb who was down. Had a good game today actually, Jack Lamb, only his second test. He's carried it up strongly, won a couple of turnovers at the breakdown. The loose forward trio for Samoa operating very well in tandem. Trevor Reynes has been good and Tui Fua has been outstanding again.
Well, that's got distance on it, and the flag's got. That took a little while to the referee's assistance there, but Paul Williams adds not only to the Manu Samoa score, but to his own score to make it 13 on the day.
Okay, thank you.
Under a bit of pressure there, but knocked on early on by the Italians, and handling errors mounting up.
There's quite a bit of heavy breathing out there at the moment, so a few subs are warming up.
Yep.
Most notably on the Italian side of life.
That's okay. Gentlemen, I'll make them all.
Well, they certainly, Robbie, haven't started the second half well, have they? They've made a number of mistakes, turned it over. When they've had the Samoans on the ropes, they've somehow managed to concede penalties and ball. And every time the Samoans have got half a slip, they've gone in and scored and then got a penalty. It's not been a good 12 or 13 minutes for the Azzurri.
Early touch.
So the free kick quickly taken by Gori. Looks the way there. Must say, after his showing last week, Zani, the number 6 on the Italian side, has been a little bit quiet. Gori, Dipanado. What a bad ball on the inside, but again that ball is going loose, and PC able to sum it up, and very nearly got away, but he does now. This is going to be a sprint away, and it's Liotta, Johnny Liotta. So tries to both the centres and to lay with the wing.
Italy again responsible for their own demise. Loose pass, going to ground, quickly gathered by Samoa. And look at this, a little snap, realising a one-on-one with a big fella. Castro Giovanni made the tackle, and then some slick handling. And as soon as the ball got in the hands of Johnny Liotta, the foot race was only ever going to be won by him. With the ball, under the poles it goes. And well, that is surely 25 points to 3 and game over.
Williams with this little pop over the crossbar, and things looking really desperate for Italy right now. Great start to the movement. Rob Kempson by PC.
No, that indeed it was, and Zorn running off the shoulders, what these players do so well. Bit of sevens experience amongst them.
Do it now, send him on.
Johnny Liotta, the man from Sale Sharks, he gets a clear run in from 45 metres. As you said, Joel, Samoa starting to run away with it.
What was most impressive there, GCPC, he realised he had that one-on-one with Martin Castro Giovanni. Knowing his step, knowing his pace, he took on the big number 3, got on the inside, able to make the offload, and away with Samoa.
Well, it looks like Giannoni is also in a lot of trouble here.
Have you got purple 5 in the meantime? Yeah, okay, so we're just waiting for this guy. Just find out, guys, are we subbing this bloke over here? Is he staying on?
Yeah, I think the sub's just about to come on the side of the field. He's got Luke McLean, and there he comes. He's on the park now.
So Luke McLean working up towards the 50 mark for the Azzurri.
Okay, all good. Okay, come on.
Well, Samoa in full flight now. They may just open up and play a little bit more of a relaxed game. Johnson takes it to ground. Sua needs, well, he will kick now. The chase for Leua. And well taken by Gori. He's survived. Has the little Italian scrum half for the entire tour.
Yeah.
Been on the field the whole time. Parise, who's been A little bit static in a funny sort of way today.
No.
We see collectively not enough forwards in there, but they get away with a penalty.
Arm around the ball on the ground. Yeah, open up.
Vasileli, I see, is on.
Winning his first Test cap.
Yeah.
Vasileli.
From the Castres club in France, the French champions, home of Rory Cockett.
Send him on.
And he's immediately involved in play.
Also on the field is Kane Thompson.
Just hang on.
He's also just ran onto the field, the late replacement on the bench.
Pavanello on the field for Italy.
I didn't get a chance now, JR, I'll do it.
So again with the short line out. And it's been stolen away. Ave's been pretty prominent in grabbing up loose ball. Tuifua was difficult to stop. Sua. And then the boot ahead by Kianufe, who was a late replacement on the park.
Repton blue.
Gori. Well, the barge forward by Manici.
Never keep your body weight, not supporting your body weight.
So Paul Williams being called over.
We had a 20-minute period where it got better. I don't want to go down the same track.
Give me one moment.
Thank you.
Paul Williams will just head on over to his forwards, as he has just said, guys, watch the discipline. We're far ahead. Let's not ruin anything by being inaccurate at the breakdown, which is where the misdemeanors have come. It's a good carry up here again from Manici, and then straight over the top you can see clear as day was the Samoan pack of forwards, James Johnston, on that occasion.
Good line-out ball there from Bernabeu. He's had a little of the catching out. Bergamasco. Oof, that's really costing Italy a great deal. And the long ball from the Vaula.
Wait. Yep.
Parisse. Now a chance here for Luke McLean. Quickly stemmed.
None! Entry. Counter-attack was effective. Non-white in the side.
Well, that's unusual for a scrum half to be giving a side entry penalty at ruck time.
Well, there are times, I suppose, where the scrum half's got to clear out, but it doesn't happen often.
Kianufe. A desperate attempt by Luke McLean to try and keep that ball in field. All gone a little bit quiet, Rob.
No, that it has, and some more replacements coming on for Italy. I must say their bench, just like Scotland's did last week, looking a bit like a war zone at the moment. They really are battered and bruised.
So Cittadini coming onto the field along with Vosawai. That's good line-out ball coming from Paolo.
Yep. Okay, use it now.
Paolo, who plays in that Celtic League for the Cardiff Blues. Tuifua. That was dropped forward.
Some more players limbering up on the sidelines. This time the big fella, Lagavi Mulipula. 124 kilograms.
Right, time is on.
He's got that fantastic hairstyle you love so much, Joel.
On he comes. That left knee is properly strapped up. That whole arm is strapped up. He looks like a mummy almost. But on he comes.
And also a big moment for Tuabi Buertas here on the low felt, born in Worcester. Attended Brillant Landbouw. Had a chat with him in the hotel this morning. Really super guy, loves to go back to the farm in Worcester, but has been in Italy. Said he went there for 2 years and has been in there in Italy for just over 5. Starting to learn the lingo.
Touch! Set!
Oh, it's a power scrum by the Algerie. Wins him their 3rd scrum penalty from my memory, and that really was a good one, Robbie.
That was fantastic. Working in unison, not even a question about where the penalty was coming. Driving the Samoans backwards.
Well, they need a lot more driving backwards if the Algerie are going to pull this game out of the fire with less than 19 minutes to go.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not enough urgency being shown by the Italian pack of forwards. Di Bernardo was quick to say, right, let's give me the ball, let's kick it down there, let's try and speed things up, and then the pack of forwards have just meandered over to the line out with no real intent. And lost it.
It's been stolen, yeah. Sua and Leua still has work to do for the Hurricanes in Super Rugby this year. Johnny Liotta with a big handoff and then storming run. Little ball back on the inside for Kane Williams. Now let's have a look at the advantage line and see what they can conjure up here. As Anufe operating in that position. Now Leua. They've made good ground here, have Samoa. So it's a little bit of a
19 what?
governing of the game, or running of the game, but this man in possession now, Nufe.
Play on, no influence. Let it go, what?
Kane Thompson at half back. The drive may come from Mulipola, but no, Thompson it is who goes forward. Sua. Then Mulipola.
18.
Sua. Ave. Be a sort of contender for man of the match would be Ave.
He's been good, hasn't he? He's carried it up strongly. He's been heavily involved. It's been a game played around the fringes. A lot of hard work required. He certainly got through his fair share.
Little bumbling run there by Far Salele. Well laid back, Ave. Tackle by Vintetti, who's had none of the ball, the Italian winger. Sua just lost concentration for a moment there, was talking to the referee and forgetting about the ball. Good counter ruck there by Vintetti, the right winger of the Algerie. Oh, this is good ball. Now the run away by Triviranus. And a ball back of he could deserve a try, but Parise, but it comes back and it's a beautiful inside pass there for Tui Fuad.
Craig Joubert's going to have a little look upstairs, I think, to just check whether he got rid of the ball in time, whether he wasn't in touch when he made the pass. The pass was absolutely brilliant. Almost a basketball type pop up for the alley-oop, and it hung in the air for an eternity. Onto that pace came Tui Fua, and he's probably rounded off his brilliant afternoon with a score in the corner. But the timing of the pass from Ave, we just said he's a contender for man of the match, and look at this. Good tackle from Parise, trying desperately to get him into touch. Is that foot on the line? It's in play. Is it on the line? It's in at the moment. Oh, he's going to be in touch.
Well, great bit of work there done by skipper Parise.
Yeah, fine, do it. That's fine.
Yeah, I think your first work for Gerrie Kutsia.
And please don't talk to the next voice.
All those feet on the ground.
You've got to watch his right leg, right foot, and ball in hand.
So is that foot touching the ground, or is it in the air? I think it's in the air still. The left foot's in the air. It's scraping a bit of chalk by the look of things.
He's still touching it.
Yeah, I think he's touching the line there. I think that stud is just nicking the line as he tries to offload.
There were no foot in touch there for you, Mayweather to try.
So you're saying I can
No foot in touch.
That's
So
correct.
Kenny could see it quickly with his decision and try number 4, which brings a bonus point to Samoa. That's the man who's a contender for man of the match, Ave.
And somehow he's managed to keep those feet off the ground, which is the key. It was awfully close. The left studs looked to be perilously close, but deemed to have been in the air. And try it is. Look at this for a little explosion through the middle. He's been good this afternoon as well as Trevor Reynes. Then came the pop pass. Ave with the, well, just a brilliant hanging loop pass. And the man who is also in a contender for man of the match. He's been everywhere when required. Tuifua has rounded it off.
Well, Paul Williams set the ball rolling with his 10 points in the first half. Will that curl in? Yes, it will. Super conversion by Paul Williams.
And quality from Samoa. They've been taking up the middle. This time they set a bit of light. Trevor Reynes is the first man. He gets the offload. You're right about this young man, Ave. He really has done some good hard yards. And the pop on the inside. Fortunate was the try, Tuifua.
Play on off blue shoulder. Oh, sorry.
Worked out by Buertas. And the cover needs to come quite quickly for Samoa.
Not on the man next to him.
Came in the form of replacement scrum half.
Use it!
Palu Liganga.
You've been practicing that all week again, haven't you?
Well, even the New Zealand commentators, when he was playing Super Rugby, called him simply Palu. And that's what he's known as around the rugby world. I remember doing a game with him when he was playing for the Chiefs.
They are playing for Exeter in the UK at the moment, and still very effective.
Now, what is left in this game? Because the Ajuri, I'm afraid, have taken a pounding here this afternoon, taken to ground by Thompson. Buertas directing the traffic. Used to get a little bit of a spark, Manichi. All a little bit cumbersome now for Vasawai.
That's a maul!
Held up by,
there.
yeah, by Fasalele.
Fasalele. Turnover ball looks like it's coming. Oh,
That's more use or lose.
I don't know, Rob, but it just seems to be a little bit of a lack of urgency in the Italian game.
Well, Joel kind of went it early on when they went for that line out. They got a great scrum, got the penalty. They strolled up to the line out and ended up losing the ball. So there's just no energy surrounding that forward pack in particular. A number of balls also been lost in that breakdown situation. The forwards just not getting there in time to make an effective cleans. And this time round, Moore was adjudged quite early on in that piece, and the forwards just not getting stuck in behind and trying to get some momentum on their side.
Well, I always remember just, being in the international scene here, you see the work of Masi, the fullback, Joel.
Yeah, he's been courageous in a team that really has battled this afternoon. He's run some good lines. He's at times had to carry it hard into the defensive line that is waiting for him. He's got it up going forward there. He's won the ball back. He's got over the gain line. And most importantly, at the back there, he's made the right decisions every time he's got the ball. What we would say is, sadly, we've not seen enough ball going to, enough good ball. Let me re-say that. Enough good ball from the Italian forwards going to the Italian backs with a bit of space for Andrea Masi to really attack on the outside.
Well, I know that Nick Mallock did complain that one of the problems in the Italian backline is that they do lack pace. But, it just a sense of urgency. International rugby is all about the increase in pace.
And it's very hard to compete if you don't have that pace, but there are ways you can. You can be accurate, you can use the ball effectively, you can get the ball at the right time, the timing of the runs, the timing of the passes. The Azuri have not shown that this afternoon.
Palu away forward. I thought Leua may have a clean run there, but Leua has done pretty well. He's been quite active in the second half after getting little ball in the first.
No issue.
Ave prominent again. Palu. For this new fellow who's, I'm not seeing Kianufa, who has been a little general since he's been on. Here's Masi. Oh, good pass away for Vosawai. Oh, now they're chased down that left side by the flank forward, Zani.
Can survive the clean out?
Buertas. Parise. Masi. Vendetti. Garcia was on his outside. Williams holds on for dear life. Which is a bit more of urgency by the Italians. Buertas, good pass away from Minucci. Well, they go to the short side, but there's no room and four massive Samoans in the way. Better to move it left, which has brought some production for Italy. Buertas still trialist in his 15th test. Di Bernardo, and then for Pavanello.
Let it go, 12!
Promising for Italy. Charge forward by Minucci. Buertas. Well covered by the Samoan defenders.
Ran into it, play on.
Oof, that's the sort of defending that Samoa are capable of with their weight and power.
Just Tuolangi who made that tackle. First time we've called his name, aside from saying, where is he?
Time off.
Yeah, I think he's probably touched the ball twice in the game.
And he hasn't moved off that ring. I wonder if he isn't carrying a slight injury and almost got a mandate to hang out there and avoid any real action and contact and make sure he's fit and strong to take on South Africa next week, which is certainly what it seems it will be. Samoa with 2 wins will play the box next week.
It's Laua who's been given a yellow card, so disappointing. Well, no, it won't be the end of the game, and he might come on with about a minute to spare. Scored that super try in the first minute of the second half.
Last one good.
Well, we chatted about the accuracy of the Italian backs. Gio Venditti carried it up strongly a little bit earlier. If he had let it go, there was a simple 2-on-1 on the outside. And if you don't have the pace, when you create those opportunities, you have to take them. Italians have been strong and courageous around the fringes in the breakdown, but they've met a big, powerful team who repelled them strongly in defence.
Set!
Now, can they work it over the try line? Oh, it's a penalty try. Craig Hubert having no hesitancy in. We'll hear from Rob Kempson in a moment. But fruit for the Italian work.
Well, that all started right at the beginning of the game. The second scrum, they put Samoa really on the back foot, and that was still when Castro Giovanni was on the field. I don't think there's any doubt that they have been the dominant pack when it comes to the set piece. Have a look at this. They get momentum going. It's very well controlled in that front try. There's no doubt to my mind the try was about to be scored. Spot on from Craig Hubert.
And it comes back to that point we mentioned it earlier. It doesn't matter about the size often. It's about technique. It's about collusion and working together. And the Italian front row, the Italian tight 5, aided by their loose forwards at number 8, have certainly proved today that they can scrum. They proved it in the second half against the Springboks last weekend, and they've continued in that same vein.
Garcia. Buertas. Chase will come from Parise. They could, and just a little shove on him, on Palu.
I don't think he touched it, or if he did, it went back.
Well, I'm not sure Parise should be having a chat there. I know a whole lot of refs who would have given a penalty there.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, in fact, that's definitely a penalty. And he then had a moan about a possible knock-on. So I think it is Ave who's receiving a little bit of attention there. Wayne Ave, he's had another decent afternoon.
So apart from
it looked like it was the same time.
just having Will Abay's getting attention, he's the only guy who's a potential fella to be replaced who hasn't been replaced. The rest of the replacements on the park for Samoa.
And the way he's been playing, I definitely take him off, save him for the game against the Springboks next week. And indeed, that's exactly what's happening. T. Barlow, the man from Clermont, is coming onto the field.
So that means the entire bench on the park for Manu Samoa.
For both sides.
Come up, what? Don't go back. Come up. Yep. Crouch.
So 7 of those Benetton Treviso players and 1 Zebra. Quite impressed with the Nufe, the way he's taken on the challenge here. Polu. Little handoff. Keeps the Italian defenders at bay. Polu again, very experienced. The Nufe, that's a little dark by the little fella. Might be short, but he will have big legs. Paul Williams, stopped by Rizzo. Polu, Williams. And Dr. James Johnson had the ball there. Oh, that's a lovely little step from Manufe. And got it away now. Terrific dart. And the 2 new guys have combined to bring off a super try. Vaulu gets the touchdown.
Try number 5. The coaching staff not looking as happy as they could be, but they should be. This is an absolute demolition of the Italian side by the team that are commonly known as Manu Samoa, affectionately known as Manu Samoa. And that little man there, Nufe, he's come on, he's controlled the game. His stepping and ability to break the line and show some absolute magic has been inspirational. And this time round he's offloaded to Vaula, who's got it down next to the pole. Try number 5 for Samoa, thoroughly deserved. And it really has become a rout of the men from
time is running
Italy.
45 seconds.
Well, Vaulu was due to be on the bench.
Yeah.
Nufe wasn't in the starting 23. Here he is, converting an international try that he set up.
He's really injected some pace and a brilliant step into. Have a look at this. The mountain defenders he beats, the running and the sense of just where to offload at the right time. And Vaulu gets over Samoa with effort.
So you know, we just consider like against like the Springboks. Springboks beat Italy 44-10 last week. Italy have done a similar job on the Azzurri today. It's going to be an intriguing game next week when South Africa take on the Samoan side.
Play on the inside to Marcy came from Luke McLean. And they'll just calm things down with 16 new players on the park. The good old days of Dr. Donnie Craven saying subdue and penetrate.
Well, it's the Italians that should have been subduing and penetrating. Just couldn't get it right today. Though Samoa play a little bit differently. They just went out there and played their flamboyant stuff at times and found the space to run into.
Paolo with his first throw into the line out.
Advantage white.
Ends in a bit of a scrappy ruck.
Yeah, I can't judge on that player, but I do know it's a knock-on.
Samoa.
Well, Joel, the Italians, they did start so well and really didn't take the momentum from that opening quarter into the rest of the game and just allowed the Samoans to actually take it by the scruff of the neck. And then, as you said, when they got over the kicking aspect after the first 15 minutes, they really started running the ball And that's when they're very dangerous.
I thought they kicked quite wisely and sensibly in that opening stanza as well, Robbie, and it just got them on the front foot, gave them time to settle in a big test match against an Italian team that did pretty well this year in the Six Nations. And once they'd settled, they then built on that foundation, and they carried the ball up strongly. They've forced the Italians to make over 100 tackles, and if we look at some of the big hits that Samoa have made when they've been forced to make the tackles, there've been a couple of real crunches and physical elements to this game, and it's not just the forwards who do it. Alapati Leua equally involved in some of those strong tackles.
There's the mark.
Mapasua directing the traffic from midfield in the Samoan side.
I hate saying it, but once again, the one disappointment for me is that we've not seen Tuilangi looking for work carrying the ball. In fact, I can't remember if he's even touched the ball, aside from that one little moment in the end of the first half where he boshed it forward about 5 meters.
Yeah, there he is in picture. He's hardly breathing. He's so meandering around the park.
He's cleaned out once or twice.
Autumn.
It's like a summer's day.
Closest with the shortest day of the year.
Big step. Yes.
Yeah, the Southern Hemisphere.
He's had to clean out once or twice at the breakdown, Tuilangi, but he's been very quiet this afternoon.
Yeah, one must also say the ball hasn't really gone his way. Oh, that's a big Samoan scrum, and so Tuibi Puertas, instead of getting the ball, had to defend. Williams, talk of the... I don't want to say it, but here's Tuilangi in action. Well, almost quickly infield. Gets the Samoans on the go again. And Nufe once again involved. Palu. A good switch there with Vaulu. Now, what can we conjure up here via that other replacement? Fasalele, Williams. Well, frankly, that little bit of play in front of you, Rob, looked a little bit like a Madonna's game.
That wasn't the best. It's not really something you want to be staying at international level. No one really wanting the ball. I mean, the game's kind of lost its fizz. You think they were just going into the last minute and a bit. And I think the result fades a complete. Italians just trying to hold off, make sure that not too many injuries in the last couple of seconds. The Samoans likewise, a bit of cramp. It's creeping in for one or two of the players that have played the whole yards.
No, not surprising as well. It is it's almost a summer's day. I mean, the Scottish, I think this would be warmer than any summer's day they've ever had. It's probably 25 degrees or so, fairly humid conditions, warm. We'll get cooler a little bit later, but it has been a beautiful afternoon, and it's no wonder some of the players have quite possibly dehydrated a little bit and suffering from cramp.
Well, you saw a picture of Jacques Brunel, the Italian coach there. In his defence, he has mixed the players around, obviously looking for guys who put their hands up to compete in the next World Cup. They have got a number of guys who are a little bit long in the tooth, all nearing 100 test matches. They've got to bring in some younger blood, and just the pool of players not that enormous. 7 changes in the starting lineup.
Scrappy end to what's been a pretty decent second half. The first half was a little quiet at times. Second half has certainly been filled with action, filled with some great tries, good running rugby. Yes. Good scrummaging again from the Italian team, winning themselves a penalty try.
And one mustn't forget that the Samoans have been playing without Leua, who's back on the field to the final moments of this match.
Early.
early connect by the Samoans. Now a chance here for Garcia, who's been one of the better midfielders on the park. Canales have been very quiet. And you're quiet because you're tackling and hardly getting the ball. Nice little switch there for the Italian front ranker, Rizzo, Buertas, then McLean. Well, move the ball around, but you've got to go forward a bit. Vasawai, one of those newcomers, Buertas, will be disappointed that he didn't get more game time. Garcia, then for Manichi. Buertas, nice touch to Marcy. Then for McLean. The siren has signaled the end of playing time, but obviously you go to a point of breakdown unless there's a penalty. Suddenly Italy move up again. Heard that, Marcy. And will it be? No, the race is not won by the lock coming, ramming up their Bernabeu. Craig Hubert blows his whistle for the end of the game. Rob Kempson.
Yes, Samoa, they're full value for this victory. They started slowly, some intelligent kicking for them first up, and then the brute force of their forwards, and then bringing the backs. And Leo was outstanding. A well-deserved victory for them today, Joel.
Yeah, I think the game is always, as normal, built on a forward foundation, and for me the two players who've stood out were Tuifo and Ave, the number 8 and the hooker of the Samoans. They built a very solid foundation for the backs to carry the ball up strongly, to score the tries. We saw some good tries from the outside backs. We saw some good impact from the bench, which will no doubt be vital next week. And altogether, a pretty good afternoon for the Samoans. Italy, on the other hand, well, they'll be disappointed. They've got some work to do.
Well, there it is. 5 tries to the Samoans. A very good win for them.